There's supposed to be no seat switching. Good ending on the wall, maybe seat on the left. I just sit on the right hand side, which you're going to see the next row, set it close. Oh, Sunday's on the word. On this weekend, thank you. And I'm going to reserve like seats Wednesday, which means let's go. What's up, everybody? My name is Zach, and I'll be your guide up in the runway while I'm there. I just secure mountains before you get started. Please remain seated. Your hands, arms, feet, legs inside the truck at all times. If you're holding onto your phone, camera, or any other setting, just do your very best to hold onto it as tight as you can. If you drop anything, I can't guarantee you'll be able to get it back. Now, if you look up above you, you're going to notice an animal spawning guide. Just list the names of all the animals out on the reserve. I won't see all of them, but we usually have pretty good luck. If there's any little ones seated on your lap, that's perfectly okay. They do just need to remain fully seated on the one lap at all times. Can't pick them up, lift them up, or pass them from side to side of the truck. That seat you're in right now truly is your final seat throughout the entire safari. There's no seat switching. Off we go. This first area we're headed into is a little Ituri forest. Just work on a line on it. It looks like to line the natural camouflage in order to blend in. The animals in this first area when just take a little bit extra to spawn, so we usually do pretty well. Let's see. Looks like just over on the left hand side up at the very top of the hill, just behind the fence there, some saddle build swords. They come in about 5 feet tall and have a wingspan around 9 feet wide. It's almost the same width as that canopies above your head. Also don't have any vocal cords. What they do inside is vibrate or rattle their bills in order to communicate with one another. Just out over on the left hand side of the very top of the hill, there's some little copy. They were first discovered in about 1901, and a Westerners believe they were a myth. You might be able to spot those backstriped legs. That might make things related to the zebra. It's actually the closest known relative of the giraffe. The copy has what's known as a prehensile tongue, which is a pretty fancy word for finger-like, and help a grip on them with leaves and eat. Auto copy. Coming up around the corner and around the right hand side of the top of the hill is that lighter tan antelope known as a greater kudu. I know that greater kudu is female, so she doesn't have any horns, only the males do. Also coming up ahead, it looks like just in between the rocks in the center here, laying down are rhinoceros. They tend to be a little bit more solitary and typically stick to themselves. They have a pointed upper lip, which lets them grip onto the food and grass as they eat. So we're trying to see another greater kudu. Gonna have to sit over here on this right side. Looks like I'm going to be just down on either side of the track. This darker copper-colored antelope is a bongo. Now the bongo often nicknamed the ghosts of the forest. That's because they're rarely seen. Their horns are shoot backwards, which allow them to run quickly through the bushes and trees without getting their heads caught on anything. It looks like they all have decided to cross the road, so they're just going to be out over on this right-hand side. Aquatic animals like to line the rivers and streams to call home. As they pass by, looking on either side of the tracks, you never know where they might be, and they might decide to come out of the water. Looks like coming up ahead, we're going to spot it in just a moment. Just down in the water on the right hand side is a Nile hippopotamus. They usually spend most of their day underwater, and they're coming out for a quick run of air. So it looks like just over on this right hand side are some pink-backed pelicans. Now they do look pretty gray right now. They're known for the vibrant pink color they'll get during mating season. For colonial nesters, and they'll lay their eggs in groups up to 500 in one area. There's a few more hippos just down over on the left side as well. We should keep this thing all the way down. The hippos don't usually like to swim, so what they'll do instead is take their bodies down to the bottom and walk or run along the river. So they pass by out on the left. Look out for shadows moving along. Bubbles coming up from the bottom. Those are good signs. More hippos could be here in the area. Hippos have the ability to lean back their ears and close their nostrils. That allows them to sleep underwater. Also looks like just down the water on the left inside is a Nile crocodile. They're going to be about 16 feet long. It's about as long as a giraffe is tall. I do remain fully seated at all times. I'm doing good right now. Thank you. Crocodiles do a bite more strong enough to crush human bones, but after your side sounds are really gentle parents. The mom will lay the eggs underground. She'll then dig them up and roll them around in her mouth for an open process. She'll then carry the young in her mouth and on her back. It's mainly just because their little legs can't keep up with hers and walk in between areas. Also to help protect the predators.
Something's coming over for you.
As these trees start to fade, it looks like let's head down into the savannah. This is one of the most popular areas out here on the reserve. Before we head down the hill, we'll take a quick peek at this tree here on the right hand side of the truck. This here is a baobab tree, and often the nickname tree of life. That's because for about 9 months out of the year, it remains completely leafless in order to conserve water. And the animals surrounding the savannah use their horns and tusks poke through the bark to get to the center of the tree where it keeps all that water. Now don't worry, that doesn't harm the tree. Inside is a pretty sponge-like structure. It has the ability to soak up and hold a bunch of water, but it also has the ability to regrow. As we head down here in the savannah, you might see some animals out in the distance. I don't worry to talk about them as we get closer. We'll focus on the animals just nearby the truck. Work our way all the way around.
17
I just bumped into the truck. You want me to go home?
No, you're good. I just lost track. You can keep it. Thank you.
I just had over on the right hand side. In the field there is a Maasai giraffe. They're anywhere from 14 to 20 feet tall. When they're newly born, they're already about 6 feet tall. It's taller than the average human. They have its own as a prehensile tongue, which is a pretty fancy word for finger-like, and help it grip onto the food and leaves it wants to eat. That tongue can grow to be about 18 inches long. Also, so coming up ahead, could be just set over on the right hand side, are some Ann-Coley cattle. They are one of the only domesticated animals out on the reserve. Those horns can grow anywhere from 6 to about 8 feet long. Now, despite their heavy look, those horns are a honeycomb-like structure on the inside, which gives them the ability to circulate their blood through or cool off if they're hot. Just set over on the left-hand side here, there's a den. Inside of the den are some African painted dogs. They live in groups anywhere from 2 to about 25. They're actually one of the most successful hunters in Africa. Each dog can reach speeds around 35 to 40 miles an hour, maintaining that speed about 3 or 4 miles. Also, just head over on the left-hand side, it looks like there's some Parkman's mountain zebra. Every stripe pattern is just a little bit different, unique. They still follow the general rule. The stripes can connect all the way around the white underbelly. Zebra have the flap of skin underneath their neck, and there's a dewlass, which gives them the ability to circulate their blood through or to cool off if it's hot. And it looks like we're getting another view of that giraffe. Just head over on the right-hand side. The group of giraffes is known as a tower. Actually, we're also starting to see another one. Ann-Coley cattle. Around the corner counter on the right. They sometimes get a nickname the Watusi cattle, named after the first tribe that domesticated them in Africa. See what we can find. Just as we turn around the corner here, you're going to be out on the right hand side up at the very top of the hill. Just because it really big tree laying down or some springbok. They have that light tan, brown, and white color. Only about 3 feet tall. They're actually one of the top 10 fastest land mammals. They can reach speeds up to 53 miles an hour. Also coming up ahead real close to us here on this right-hand side is an eland. Both male and female elands have horns. Females have a little bit of a thicker and tighter spire to their horn. They also have a flap of skin underneath their neck, but then there's a dewlap. It gives them the ability to just like this. They're blood through or go on if you want. Ahead, some of the local safari guides call this area elephant territory because some of the African elephants like to hang out around here. Now they do wander for hundreds of miles a day, so you're never really sure where they might be. After they like to hang out somewhere over here. Looks like I'm starting to see an elephant gonna be coming up ahead. Just head around this right hand side. Past the trees there, starting to see that elephant. I know that one most likely is a male. It's because he's hanging out by himself. The males will leave the herd on their own. They get forced out by the others. The females and other related elephants will stick together and form their own group. The males sometimes form smaller batch or groups with a few other males. They pretty much hang out together a little bit. They'll comment on the way. Just repeat that every once in a while.
Okay.
With the elephants here in Africa, they would wander around the farms eating up all the crops. Farmers didn't like that very much, so they began to poach the elephants. So Disney, partnered with Oxford University, so some locals in Kenya were able to find out that elephants are terrified of bees. But something with the buzzing in their ears, they didn't like it. They would alert herds miles away the bees' presence in the area in order to warn them off. So we were able to create beehive fences. These are boxes which surround the farm, so it acts as a barrier for the elephants. This in turn makes the elephants pick a different area to find their food. The farmers regain their crops. They also gain an additional resource, the honey that the bees produce. Dig their chest into the right clay. They'll then roll it up into a ball with their trunk. They'll eat the red clay or replace the minerals and get from their mostly cloud diet. Now what goes at everything being so close, it's a good time for more elephants could be hanging out nearby. And it looks like just got on the left hand side. There are a few more. Even goes to appear that there's a baby elephant. The elephants are pregnant for about 22 months before giving birth. So we're starting to spot some more of these baobab trees. This is some of the marks that the animals were making trying to get to the center. Looks like also there's a few more of those springbok that we saw earlier. Looks like we're headed down here into the local water hole. You never know what animals could be hanging out. What birds might be taking over this area. just out of our left-hand side of the truck, group greater flamingo. Group greater flamingo is known as a flamboyance. Think the vibrant pink color from the beta carotene found inside their diet, such as the algae and shrimp antimony. Also, despite their look, they serve a pretty similar leg structure to that of us humans. The joints are just a little bit longer. The part that bends backwards actually where our heel is. So coming up ahead, there could be some bigger animals. A lot of these trees are knocked down. Looks like some of the bigger animals could have knocked down those trees. The white rhinoceros will grow to be anywhere from 3,000 to 5,000 pounds. They have a U-shaped upper lip, which helps them grip onto the food and grass that they eat. Also roll around in the mud, which helps create a barrier between their skin and the bugs here in Africa. Also kind of works as a built-in sunscreen.